Rabbani Mara. Bismillah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. We are asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to forgive us, to give us more faith and more understanding, more intelligence, to look and to understand, and to give us more faith. Not to look and to understand and it takes you away from faith. Not to look to understand with your ego and to make you to lose faith and to become disobedient. So looking and understanding also has to be learned. It is not looking and understanding any way that you want, any way that your ego wants, any way that this dunya wants, or how our desires want to look and want to understand. So how are we going to look and understand properly? In which way? Which way? You say. There is a creator to looking and understanding. There is that creator. Looking does not come from you. To see doesn't come from you. Just because you have eyes, it doesn't mean that seeing is coming from you. Understanding doesn't come from you. There's a creator to that understanding. A speech, it doesn't come from you. There is a creator of that speech. These are the qualities of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So there is a creator. And if you are not understanding, looking with how our creator has put it on us, that you are understanding and you are looking through the ego, you are still seeing, we are still understanding, but it's going to take you away from faith, away from the creator. Mankind, whether you believe or you don't believe, you're going to make a god to yourself, an ilah to yourself. Those who don't believe in a creator, but they believe in themselves, they're saying, I am the one who's determining everything that is happening to me. You just turn yourself into a creator. You. That you don't even have the power to stop breathing. You is a prisoner between two breaths. That you don't have the power to stay awake. Which is why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying in the Quran Karim about those ones who claim that Isa alayhi salam, it is Allah. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, don't Isa and his mother, don't they eat and drink? For a man who looks and who understands, not with his ego, with the real akal that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created, that is coming from the divine presence. Small things will point to a real thing. They don't need a real thing to show themselves to him for him to understand. Which is why every sentence in the Quran, it is called an ayat. And ayat means it is a sign. If you see the sign, you see the whole reality. You don't need the whole reality. For those who are blind with their heart, even if they see the whole reality, sit down somewhere. Even if they see the whole reality, they're going to deny it. It is not because that the reality, it is not present. It is because they're denying it. The one who split the moon into two, the one whom the trees, they uprooted themselves to crawl to him and to speak to him, the one whom the animals, they come and they give the shahadat. The ones that the stones themselves, they give shahadat to. The ones that the angels, they were congratulating his mother, taking the baby and showing the whole alams, the birth of the Prophet ﷺ. That one had uncles who denied his reality. That one had people around him that looked at him and said, "You are ugly, Ya Muhammad." So the Holy Prophet ﷺ says, "You are looking at a mirror and you're seeing your own reality." These are the days of Ashura. These are the days that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is showing our reality. So many times it's showing the reality of the weakness of man. It's showing the weakness. We don't like to say too much like that, but it's showing the weakness of the prophets. That the great prophets, they need the help of Allah. It is not coming from them. Allah gave them that power. That Allah forgave them, that they did certain things, in or out, in or out. That Allah is showing them the mercy to them. And these are the ones that are closest to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What is that for? That is not for Allah. That is not for them. That is for us. That is for us to understand what is our reality. What is our weakness. Because when the man starts to think that he is strong, when the man starts to think that he is, everything that happens to him is from his own doing, he already starts worshipping himself. He has created an ilah for himself. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is showing through the most strongest, not just the closest ones to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they're the strongest ones, the prophets, that they're able to command everything in this world and the next, that they are in need of Allah's mercy. And Allah is teaching us then, what about us? What about us? We have been created weak. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created us weak, and when we turn to Him for strength, that is the time that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, now come to your own reality, because you have been created to represent me. And the one who represents Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala cannot be weak. He is not weak because he is not relying on his own strength. If he relies on his own strength, he's just relying on your own battery and you finish. But when you're hooked up to the power that is never ending, then your power never ending. But for you to do that, you have to give up from yourself. To give up from yourself, you have to understand your weakness. Those ones who betrayed Hazrat Hussein, we are no better than them. Are we understanding that? Are we understanding that we are capable of doing that? Understanding that we are capable of doing is just the first step. Then what are you going to do with that understanding? To understand, yes, we have that inside of us. Then what do you do? To just leave it like that? To say, well, he understands I'm weak, so whatever I'm doing, it is with his permission, so that's okay. It is not okay. Only shaitan makes that kind of logical reasoning. It is not logic. Because we are not following shaitan. We're following the prophets and we're following the friends of Allah. And we're following the Ahlul Bayt. So many events happen on this day. But the events of Karbala, where a few stood up and say we are not going to be part of this, that we're pulling ourselves back. Karbala still continues up till today. Karbala did not happen one time 1400 years ago. It is still happening today. That you have a group pulling themselves away from tyranny and says, now, lakum dinukum waliyatin, they are going to be hunted down. Because the dunya says, unless you are my slaves, we're not going to let you go. So Karbala continues. Where are we in this Karbala? If you are feeding this world, then you are starving your Hussein. If you are starving this world, and that time you're making the Husseini part of us to become more alive. But understand, it comes with a lot of sacrifice. And that event did not stop there. That event continued. And there is a reason for that. وَمِنَ اللَّهُ تَوْفِقْ. May Allah forgive us and make us to look and to understand and to have more faith according to the way that He has given to those ones who are in the Siratul Mustaqim, according to those ones that they are in the path of that He's pleased with, not in the path of those who have deviated or has pulled His anger. May Allah forgive us for the sake of the Holy Prophet ﷺ, Sultan al-Awliya and Sahib al-Saif, for the sake of the Shuhada of Karbala. Al-Fatiha.